Let's do some watercolor floral practice. Today I'm doing everything with a number 8 round brush. We're going to paint a lot of different type of florals, so pull out your supplies and let's go. Okay, I'm going to start with just a simple 4-petal flower. I'm just doing probably 2 strokes, maybe 3 for each petal. I'm kind of holding my brush a little bit more horizontal to the paper and just kind of pressing down the belly of the brush. I'm going to do another one here, so a couple strokes for each petal, and then for the last petal, I'm going to do the flower at an angle, so I'm going to do a C stroke. So I touch the tip of the brush down, push the belly down, and then finish again at the tip of the brush. So this one I'm doing the same angled floral, except I'm going to angle the back petal, and just like that. It gives your florals more dimension and helps them look like they're pointing in different directions. For this, I'm going to do just a simple rose. So I did a few dots in the center, and then I'm going to do some C strokes. So again, I start with the tip of the brush, push the belly down, and go back to the tip. And then for the outer petals, I wash off a lot of that color and just have a little bit left on my brush, and then pull some kind of from those center petals. And then I just sort of work around the flower. I try to keep to doing odd numbers for the petals. Just makes it look more natural, less symmetrical. So I'm going to do one that's angled a little bit. So again, I do these nice C strokes, and then I'm going to wash off my brush a little bit. I'm pulling some of that color from the outside, gives it a more translucent kind of washy look. And then I'm just widening out some of these outside petals to help it give it a little bit more of an angle to it. And you can see the center of the flower is back a little bit more, and then I've got heavier and more petals on that front side, kind of angled to the right. For this, I'm going to do more of a bud. So I did one of those C strokes in the back, very small, and then I did a bigger, couple kind of angled down C strokes, and then I'm just pulling them down a little bit with a little bit of water. These are just some simple buds. And then now I'm moving on to, this could be a dahlia. If it was bigger, this could be, you could do a sunflower in this style, a chrysanthemum, a daisy. All of them are very similar to this. I did some shorter petals kind of angled on the one side to give it some dimension there. This flower I'm doing more straight on. With very simple strokes, kind of pressing the brush down, variegating my color a little bit just for fun. I'm sorry, I missed filming the cosmos. I'm not sure how I did that. But now we're going to do just a simple large petaled flower. I do these a lot in my work, and you could do these with an angled petal as well. Just make one of them a little smaller and shorter. Do a little bit more of a C-shaped petal on the last one. Just adding a little bit of extra water here. And then just some kind of light sort of wispy strokes with the tip of that round brush. Again, I'm using a number 8 round for all of these florals. It's very versatile. These are just some little small flowers. I'm doing 3 or 4 strokes for each petal. For these, I'm going to do some 2-stroke heart-shaped petals. I use these a lot for lilacs and things like that, little buds. And then I'm doing the same kind of 4-petal flowers with a little C-stroke at the end, because you can make all different sizes with this brush. It's just about making marks on your page for smaller flowers. Here I'm going to go ahead and do a tulip. So I started with a couple, kind of a pointed oval in the center. Then I'm just adding a couple strokes to the side, a little touch at the top, and then I go ahead and get a little bit of that color, a little bit of a green color. I'm just going to add a stem to this. It just makes it look a little bit more natural than a tulip floating on my paper. For my green, I'm just doing touching on some sap green with some lemon yellow for some of these florals. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things is if I'm painting spring florals, I like to add yellow to it. If I'm painting, winter or fall things, a lot of times I'll add some red to my green or a little bit of blue. Just a fun way to do some color mixing. Here, I'm just doing some very simple berries, just little round berries can really enhance your floral work. And then these are one of the newer flowers that I learned how to do. She did a Skillshare class, but she painted these little nasturtiums, and they're so beautiful. I thought they were so fun. I believe she lives in Scotland or England. I'll try to link her stuff below. She's so fun to watch. And then I'm just doing lilac here. So I have some purple on my brush. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to this. And then I'm going to wash off my brush and just push this out with a little bit of water, add a little bit of variegation. And then again, I'm just going to go in with some of that springy green with some yellow just to touch in some stems on there. I hope this was helpful and you had a good time doing some floral practice. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.